you should know that I will never ever go away. So you'll never have to worry. As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky, you'll never have to worry. Though it may seem today that I'm so far away from you, have to fall, 'cause I'm right here before you call my name, and I'll come running to heal you, feel you, take you by the hand, and I'll show you the way to where I am. All you should know that I will never ever go away. From the sparrows in the sky, forget your yesterday, for when this night to brand new day gives way. Your life, your breath renewed, a ray of sun reminds you it's okay. You'll never be alone if you feel me. Take me into your heart, and we'll never, ever have to part. But you should know that I will never, ever go away. As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky. To worry about a thing, don't have to worry about a thing. All you should know that I will never ever go. So you'll never have to worry. As long as I care for the sparrows in the sky. Oh yeah, don't worry. Said I never seen the righteous forsaken, his seed begging bread. So you'll never have to worry. Consider the lilies, how they grow. Whatever you need, your Father knows. Oh, come on, let me say. Oh, you'll never. Don't you know you never have to worry? Just between you and me, this is nice. There's no tricks. Ooh, this love is just between you. This is nothing. Ooh, there's no tricks. This love is. Just what do I have to do to let you know? Should I make your flowers grow? Should I make it rain or snow? Yeah. So many things I've done just for you. Forest green and ocean blue, just to show my love is true. Just between you and me, this is nice. There's no trace. This love is so real, just between.
What's up?
Hey, everybody.
What is up?
What's going on?
Yo, this is crazy because we already got comments coming in. Primo's already talking junk, saying, April, you're not even going to come to the show tonight. Why is it looking like that? Why is it coming up looking all funny? Let me see if that else look like that, too. It does. What in the world?
Must have changed the color.
I don't know what happened to this thing. That's not good at all. We have to figure that out. But anyway, bottom line is this show is going to be very different tonight, I think, in comparison to the shows we've had so far. But we're excited about it as usual, and we're glad that you are here.
And so, hey, Horace, you made it tonight.
Yeah. Last week you was Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? So you have an excuse. Ain't no big deal. But as you can see, we're coming from the DMV live from DC. We're back home now.
Yes.
We never left, but
no, we never left.
Last week we acted like we were in Huntsville because we didn't get to go. But this week we're back home.
Yeah,
you know
we're back home. We're back home.
So if you are coming from, you know what? I really want to know if you're new. If you're a new person that has never been here before, just tell us you're new and tell us where you are coming from. Actually, even if you're not new, tell us where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So we'll know where people are actually joining us from this evening. And then we can kind of get into things a little bit tonight as we look at this topic. Delroy Brooks, what up, man?
Delroy.
How you doing, man?
Saba?
It's good to see you. Saba, as usual.
Oh, you were in Huntsville.
You were in Huntsville, Horace.
Okay,
You would have been where we were. You know what I'm saying? You were where our picture was.
Yes.
Why are you saying you're old, Saba? That's not true.
What?
Saba's not old at all.
No, not at all.
About?
Hey, Tiffany.
Maybe she feels old because they have so many kids. Maybe that's what it is.
Miss y'all, Tiff.
Yeah, I do too. Oh man,
Good to see you on here.
Dayton, Ohio is where Horace is at now.
Okay.
And O'Brien Harris is in Atlanta. Yeah. We always got a lot of ATL people.
Hey, Ambry.
Delroy's in Southern California. Yeah, good to see you.
Yes.
Tiffany,
Decatur,
of course, Decatur.
Georgia.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So glad you guys are joining us. I'm old to this show versus new. Oh, that's what you meant.
That is true.
You are
that
old
is true.
in that respect.
That's right.
But that's it. You know what I'm saying? Delroy, we're doing good, man. Been following you. Saw some of your stuff with Bobby recently. Really good. And
yes.
We actually
good
saw
stuff.
you and Dillis on our air last week at church. You were singing with a big, huge choir or something like that.
That was nice.
That was real nice. So it was good to see
you there.
Exactly. Nichelle is coming from the East Bay.
Oh.
Okay. And she's new.
Okay.
Hi,
hey,
Nichelle.
Thanks for joining us.
Glad you joined us tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess we should probably introduce ourselves to Nichelle since she doesn't know who we are. I'm John.
I'm April.
And we are John and April. This is Ask John and April. We basically take questions that people send to us and we deal with them live on the show. And they're always relationship-related questions. We are a relationship show. And so tonight's is an interesting one.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a second.
Let's get to that.
But before we get to it, though, we should look at our poll because we did have.
That's right.
Primo, of course, is in Columbia, South Carolina. Good to have you guys. This is Primo's second time in Columbia. Okay, so we always do a poll during the week, and last week's poll was based on the previous week's topic. And last week's topic was about in-laws. We thought we would talk about in-laws because everybody was going to be with in-laws for Thanksgiving.
And, we've had a lot of people over the years come to us about having in-law issues,
Right, exactly. And we figured perfect timing would be when you're going to see them again, which is Thanksgiving.
It's a good time to talk about tips on how to work through that.
Yes, and I honestly don't know. We were supposed to go down to Huntsville to see my parents, which would have been April's in-laws, and we couldn't do it because of COVID. I wonder if anybody else even traveled. I wonder were you guys home? Did y'all go anywhere? I think some people told us last week on the live that they stayed home, but I know a lot of people probably didn't join us just because, I don't know.
All right, so go ahead and put up those polls so we can see.
Let us see right now. Okay, there were two questions, really. There was a third that was kind of like, what do you do to kind of, what advice can you give?
I need to pull my chair up so that I'm not covered. Let me see. There we go.
Yeah, stand up. Oh, here we go. Okay, so
all right.
The first question.
Do you have a good relationship with your in-laws? And 95% said yes.
Okay, now that's good. We like that.
Very good.
That's
I was actually surprised at that.
I was surprised
Not
too.
Not necessarily at a high number, but 95%.
Right. That's a pretty good percentage.
Of the people who, did the poll, whatever.
Now, I would actually want to ask what they define as a good relationship. Because
that's true.
Because, I feel like I've always had a good relationship with your parents since the beginning. But as compared to the way I relate to them now, I wouldn't necessarily. If I'm defining now as good, then that wasn't,
Right, because now it's great.
Right. Well, yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Is that what you mean?
I think so.
Well, whatever. The point is, it was a good relationship.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then it says, do you have to work or struggle? Did you have to work or struggle to have a good relationship with your in-laws? And 69% said no.
31% said yes, though. So this is
said
telling.
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
so let's just say if 95% of the people are saying they had a good relationship with their in-laws, you might assume that the same percentage of people would say that they really didn't have to struggle with their relationship. But
Well,
if
not necessarily.
Yeah, you may not.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if 31% are saying they did have to struggle, that means that our hypothesis from last week is true. What we said was, you don't see your in-laws nearly that much. And so if you're seeing them 4, 3, 2 times a year at like special occasions, you got to give yourselves time to be able to have a good relationship.
Exactly.
Don't just assume that it's going to happen right away.
Yeah.
And here are people, 31% of the 95 are saying, hey, I have a good relationship with them, but it wasn't always good. I had to work / struggle to have a good relationship with them.
And Daryl, you made a good point. People with bad relationships with with in-laws didn't answer.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe that's why we got 95%
Maybe that's
like
why.
that. See, it's not coming up good. I don't get that.
Well,
we
it's
can
okay.
barely
We won't
see
worry
those,
about
man.
that.
Yeah,
Hey,
we don't worry about that today.
I choose joy. Or
Yeah, I choose joy.
Yeah,
Hello,
hey.
April and John. Hello,
Hey,
I choose joy.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Okay.
All right, so Bradway Primo said his in-laws are just like his birth parents. That's good. That's what we said last week too.
Mine
we said
too.
we're at the point where we don't even want to call them in-laws.
No,
We feel bad even saying that.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's good. All right, so tonight's subject
Yes, let's talk about this topic. This is very interesting.
is very interesting.
And actually shocked me a bit.
It was definitely something I was not expecting to see. In
by the way,
fact,
go
when
ahead.
you first showed it to me,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a joke. Like I wasn't positive that it was real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, Tammy.
Oh, that's Tammy. I thought I recognized her
I was
picture.
looking, I was like, I know who that is.
Hey, Tammy. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Tammy. No, I was gonna say real quick. This is a good topic, so go ahead and share.
That's true.
You know.
You definitely want to share this with other people. You may want to start your own watch party.
Yeah, start your watch party
You know
so
what
that
I'm
people can come in on this because it's a good topic.
It is.
But anyway, I was very surprised to see this. So, and the question came to us from a viewer.
We're not gonna start with the question though. We're gonna start
okay,
by
we'll start with the
telling
question.
them.
Okay.
Or do you want to start with the question?
Start with the question.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll start with the question.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Okay, here's the question.
With so many different types of relationships being defined, how does one determine whether the motto, "it works for us" in marriage and courtship, is just a cover for toxic behavior? Now, this question came as a direct result of a video that this person, by the way, the person that shared it with us is a regular viewer that's on here every single week. We didn't ask her if she cared about us saying her name, but it doesn't matter. The point is, this person found a video that was tied to what seems like sort of a phenomenon out there now for some couples in terms of how they decide that they're going to set up their relationship. And the two words are domestic discipline.
Domestic discipline. So I'm going to explain it. Before I do, Chiquina from Lawrenceville. Hey, how are you? Glad you made it.
Yes, glad you are here.
Yes.
Does that mean you watch us normally when it's not live and this is your first time? Anyway,
No,
she said she's finally made it to a live session. Glad you're here.
Okay, so domestic discipline. So this is I didn't write down to explain it. So
Okay.
I'll just go off the top of my head.
Exactly.
But this is basically a couple who decides that they're going to have an HOH, was head of house.
Yes.
Okay, and that is the male.
Right.
And then let's see, I think I did write this down. TIH, taken in hand, is the other one.
I'd never heard that.
Yes.
I didn't hear that
or
part of it.
sub.
Okay.
Okay. And the HOH is able to set up the rules for the household.
Right.
Right. And specific rules that if the sub breaks these rules, and the sub is the woman.
Right.
If the sub breaks the rules, then she will either get,
She can be disciplined.
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah, right.
No judgment.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Go ahead.
It just sounds funny to say for a grown man to have a grown woman.
Everybody that's seen you at least once already knows how
sorry.
you feel about
Go
this.
to the timeout chair.
Right. Timeout.
Write lines.
Lines, y'all.
Write lines,
Right.
like back in that's the olden days.
Exactly.
Writing lines.
Right.
I don't know the last time I heard writing lines.
I have, yeah. Maybe. Remember that movie, The Christmas Story, with the boy shoot your eye out? I think somebody had to write lines in that movie.
Okay, writing lines or a spanking.
Spanking, yes.
Okay. So we're gonna just focus on this particular couple that had something on YouTube telling their story and what they decided to do with their family. They're teaching their children this as well. But so if she does something that is on the list of things
you're not supposed to do.
Things you're not supposed to do,
yes.
which he had posted in the house on frame.
He had them
on the
framed
wall
in the living room.
so that she could be reminded of the rules that she needs to keep, right?
Right.
And if she broke those rules, she would either get, based on the level, whether it was lying or, whatever she did, disrespect, whatever.
It would warrant a certain kind of discipline.
Or a stern talking to.
Yes.
So it could be a stern talking to. It could be this timeout chair.
Yeah.
It could be a spanking or writing lines.
Can you pause for a second and let me just say, can anybody see me alive the next day if I tried to put my wife in timeout? Just think about that for a second.
Okay, I'm just giving the look, like that won't work for us.
Delroy says he's judging, by the way. He's like, I'm judging.
No, but this is and I'm not judging. Like, they decided that they wanted to do this. Mind you, you would think, which I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that the guy was the one to say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do."
That was my assumption, too. I thought he introduced it to the family. He found this somewhere and brainwashed his wife.
I was like, exactly. That's
what
I'm
thought
thinking.
Too. Yes.
But 5 years into their marriage, which they've been married for 15 years.
Right.
5 years into their marriage.
So that means they've been practicing this domestic discipline for 10 years.
10 years.
Okay.
5 years into their marriage, she ends up bringing this up to him and saying that she wants to try. She was reading books. She was getting, she was getting training, I guess, on how to do this.
Yeah.
And she brought all the information to her husband and said, let's do
this.
And he said he wasn't for it at first.
Right.
He was like, I don't know about this. This might not work for us. And she convinced him to try it out. And he liked it, of course. Well, I don't mean it like that, but yeah, I mean, it kind of benefits him a little bit.
Well, but hold on. This is the part that got me, is that when they described their relationship and when they talked about how things are, I just assumed the wife, first of all, like you said, I assumed the husband brought it to the wife and that she was miserable.
Right.
But she's happy, apparently, according to this.
She said this has been the best. They are better now than ever.
Right. That's interesting.
She said he is so loving.
Right.
And so caring and all of that stuff. And so there's so many things that went through my mind here, because it's like, what would make you come to a point where you need your husband to discipline you in a way like you are a child?
Right.
So that's where I'm like...
Okay, so let's go back to the question now. So now you have the full context, okay? Now you understand where this is coming from. You understand why this question was even asked. And so let's look at the question again based on the context we just heard. Okay, with so many different types of relationships being defined, how does one determine whether the motto, "it works for us" in marriage and courtship, is just a cover for toxic behavior? So what this viewer is asking is, I just watched this video with this couple saying that this works for us, and it just seems toxic to me. How do we differentiate? How do we tell? Is there anything that says, no, you can't do that, even if y'all think this is right for y'all? Is basically, is that the way to basically make it so that anything can happen in your relationship, where you basically just say, well, this works for us? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I mean, we tell couples all the time, you need to do what works for you. You don't go by how you were brought up, or what your parents say you should do, or whatever. You should base this on what you guys decide.
Yes.
But when I hear this, I'm like, okay, this to me, just in my opinion, this to me is something different than that, because I feel like, well, couples can do what they want to do. That's not what I'm saying.
Of course.
Okay. Anybody can do what they do.
And I think that's what you mean when you say no judgment. You simply mean, I'm not in y'all relationship.
No.
Y'all do
what
you
want to do.
Okay, fine.
But I'm just speaking from a Christian perspective on my point, on my part, on our part.
Clearly. Yeah.
I just feel like something like that is toxic.
Yes.
Because it is not a positive way to me to handle when you don't like what your partner did.
Let me say
you know
this.
What I'm saying?
Let me say this.
And I have to say this real quick
go ahead.
because I just saw a comment,
okay.
and I just have to respond to it right now. This is there's a book written about it, and there are several couples who talk about it. There's a whole community
of people that are doing this.
People that are doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I don't know if I'm just assuming when you go there, it's real. I mean, this is what people do. So. You're asking if has this been fact checked? Like, because it's so unbelievable.
Right, exactly. You're like, there's no way in the world this is possible, right?
But there's a book out. I only saw one, but there is a book, and that's the book that she referred to.
Right.
Anyway, so
let me just say this, okay? Here's what I believe. I believe that there are some things that are incompatible with healthy relationship. Okay? This is my belief. And I believe this is one of those things.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk in a second about why people might gravitate towards something like this and actually feel okay with this. I have a theory. You can be a devil's advocate too. And I have a theory about why it is that this particular couple, especially the woman in this situation, may feel like she's happy under these circumstances. But what I would say is there are certain behaviors that are incompatible with healthy relationship, whether a person knows it or not. So you might be the couple who's doing something that actually undermines healthy relationship and you don't even know it.
Right.
And you're assuming that because you feel better with this current situation than you did with your old situation, that it makes this okay. Right. Just because this is better than the last thing don't make this okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm saying they may like it or they may think they enjoy it, but in my opinion, this does not coincide with what a healthy relationship is supposed to be. And the thing that's supposed to be there, I don't know if these people are Christian. I have no idea. But in a Christian relationship should be equality.
Yeah.
Husband and wife are equal.
I want to know where, I just feel like the words head of the household or head of the home or whatever, I feel like that comes from the Bible. Does it?
It does, yes. But
so
Ephesians 5 says the husband's the head of the wife.
Okay,
the problem I have with what they're doing is it's almost like they've co-opted that language and it has morphed into something slightly different or something that is so outdated, because I guess at some point most households look like this, but I'm not even sure.
No.
Well, Hold on. I meant to tell you this. Somebody showed me several newspaper clippings from the 40s that actually had ads in them talking about how you should discipline your wife. This was in regular newspapers.
What?
Yes. So I'm saying
the Lord know I couldn't have been living in that time.
So I'm saying this is something that was something a while ago. This was socially acceptable. Okay. I'm saying maybe this is on the comeback. I don't know.
Well, all I know is she had a little paddle that has something like "Daddy knows best" or whatever. Something like that.
I didn't watch the whole video, y'all. Let me tell you something. Primo said earlier, April might not even show up to this episode because we already know how she feels about it. And the reality is, when I was watching the episode with April, this YouTube thing, I was so uncomfortable. I just stopped watching it. The girl watched the rest of it. I didn't even watch the whole thing.
I had to finish it. And I will say this. Now, let me say something about what you said.
Go ahead.
Okay, because we got to get to these comments. I got to see
what
folks
there's a lot of
saying.
comments on it. We knew it was going to be a lot tonight.
Yes, it was going to be a lot tonight. But look, I feel like she or people like this may need something that has been missing from their life, from childhood.
Okay.
Like needing that father figure, needing that love through discipline.
Maybe she had an undisciplined life as a child.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe needing that structure. And here's a situation where she reads this book. She gets introduced to this thing, and she's like, "Oh man, this is great. This will keep me in line, help me to do right, because I'm always off track. I'm always messing up. And as a child, maybe she didn't get that, or she may have gotten that too much and needs that. And whatever the case may be, it sounds like something. There are people
there's some dysfunction that's causing this. What you're saying?
Dysfunction, and I'm saying there are some people who actually tend to gravitate towards toxic relationships because it just feels that same thing that you've had all your life, and you have to keep that toxic relationship in your life or that toxic behavior because that's what keeps you right with yourself, even though it isn't right. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Because again, no judgment, but again, if they're not Christians, they're not going to have the same thinking that I have or that we have.
Right.
But the point is, let's just look at this as a relationship thing. You know,
Right.
we're just looking at this as a whole thing.
So
you know?
I'm with you, and I also feel that if your previous situation, because she said for the first 5 years their relationship was one way, and then she found this thing, and for the last 10 years they've been doing this, and they love it. Now, what I'm saying is I can see the benefits of something that looks like structure if you didn't have any structure in a relationship beforehand. So I get that
yes,
part of it.
Yes.
And I also like words like head of household and submit and stuff like that. But I have a totally different context for that from my biblical perspective that to me is something between equals. This is not,
right.
In fact, there was one thing she said that I heard before I stopped listening, and I disagreed with it immensely.
Okay.
She said, in our situation, we have a dominant, and she
Right.
talked about her husband,
Yeah.
and she said we have and that's me.
Right.
Okay, so here's the problem, right? In the biblical Ephesians 5 context, which we teach all the time, there is a submissive, but there is no dominant.
Exactly.
It just so happens that both people are the submissive. So
And they
husband
may-
and wife,
but you know
Ephesians 5:21, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. So
Right.
we both submit. It's mutual submission. So there is no I submit
no
because
dominant.
you're the dominant. No,
Right.
that's not there. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, well, okay, this is totally off.
Right, but which is crazy that they could hear this, two submissive, that can't happen.
Right.
And see, that is crazy.
Of course it is, but it's only crazy to a worldly mindset.
Right.
It really makes sense, spiritual things spiritually discerned. It only makes sense in a spiritual mindset, biblical context, totally different thing.
True,
So
true,
this is
true.
why we can't necessarily assume that our way of thinking is what everybody else thinks like. And this is why we don't
Right.
just judge people automatically because
Exactly.
we don't know where they're coming from.
Right. And
My
they
point
may
is
have been brought up in a different way.
my point is whether they know it or
Yeah.
not, coming from a place of inequality is actually incompatible with healthy relationship. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. And so
Yeah.
whether they know it or not, this is something that actually is going to be a problem at some point. It probably is already a problem now. They just don't realize it.
I don't know. All I know is there's no way that she feels good about herself. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
she has to have self-confidence issues or self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
Which is a negative thing. So
I would think the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to some of these comments because, they're coming in like crazy. I got to scroll back like 4 pages. Okay. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. Right there.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Is that's a good question, Ambry. Ambry said, is the happiness the barometer that the practice is healthy? So she's saying,
true.
She's
That's
saying, is
true.
the fact that they're happier now than they were before, should that be a barometer?
I'm saying no, because you can be happy because you are used to this toxic.
Your feeling of happiness
You know
could be
what I'm saying?
comparative. If it's just
Right.
compared to what you were before, then that doesn't necessarily make it automatically
Exactly.
okay.
It could be I'm happy because I am reliving what I had as a child all my life.
It could
and
be
this
happy because you're
brings
comfortable.
Me, yeah. I don't
but
know.
you're comfortable
Yeah.
with something that's toxic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Nichelle says she has issues. This is toxic. in no
Yeah,
uncertain terms.
exactly.
Primo says, what is wrong with this theory? I just told Shalita Davis to be quiet and eat her dinner as we listen to the live because I am not to be disturbed when I watch TV. Now, let me just say
now
real
I know
quick.
what Shalita did after that, though.
Well, I'm going to say I would bet you there's no more comments from Primo after this because he is now deceased. Okay? We know Primo was joking right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Delroy
Okay.
asked what's the ethnicity of the couple. They're actually black, Delroy.
They are. They're black. And well, I was saying.
How'd that play into it for you?
Well,
when
I
you
was
watched
just
that?
like, I actually didn't think about that at first at all.
Okay.
And then what I wanted to know is it just, is it just this black couple? Like, is it other couples from different ethnicities?
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, I wasn't thinking anything, but I was thinking kind of like you in that. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there.
Delroy says, are they really partners if she is looked at as a sub versus a partner? And this is where I'm coming from, Delroy. My thing is words like sub and submissive is okay if we're both that. I have a problem with the word submissive if the other one is dominant.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. So right away, there's no way they're partners.
Yeah.
They're
Well-
not equals. They're not starting
well,
on
let
that
me tell
level.
you, they're-
He is over her.
Yeah.
And she feels comfortable apparently with him dictating how things are supposed to be. And then when she's out of line, he does whatever he's supposed to do to get her back in line.
And I watched this other video with this lady talking about being a sub and her husband being a dominant, and that he spanked her at an event out at somebody's house. I'm like, really?
What?
Like, and she was like, it was kind of funny.
And you can see on her face, right?
She
didn't like it.
No, she did not like it.
She was trying to be okay with it.
I think this is just too much.
I agree.
It's too much. But I want to say and let you guys know that they had kids and they were
did have
teaching their children. Guys,
Yes.
these things were posted in the house on the wall.
So that the kids could see it.
So they know everything and how the parents work.
Now pause. We have things or had things posted on our walls too, but it wasn't for me and you. The stuff we had posted for the kids.
Right.
So
The checklist that you did your chores.
Right.
You know, get your little smiley face
Exactly.
for that. I'm not doing that to my spouse.
Right.
You know. So the daughter, they asked the daughter, this was an interview, and they asked her, you know, are you going to.
How old was the daughter? Like 15, 13,
She looked like
12?
she was like teenager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say she's 13.
Yeah, teenager.
All
Yeah,
right.
13, 15, something like
Yeah.
that. She was like, no.
Wait. Finish the question. What did they ask her?
Are you going to continue this type of living when you grow up and get married, whatever?
Right.
And she was like, you know, I understand what my parents are doing. I respect them for that.
She was trying to be good on camera.
She was like, but I will not be following their lead because this is not for me. This is not my personality.
Right.
You know.
And she was very definitive about
and
that.
she was.
Yeah.
And I mean, she probably don't like it.
Right. See, this is my thing.
I mean, I don't know. Would you feel comfortable seeing your mama get spanked?
That's what I was gonna say.
And putting a timeout chair?
That's what I was going to say.
I mean,
I don't know what that would jack me up.
It would make me feel like as a child I'm on the same level as my parents.
Exactly.
Okay,
that's not good at all.
It is not. It is not.
Okay, so Joycelyn says sounds more like a parent-child relationship than a marriage. Yes, Joycelyn, that's what we're saying. Exactly right.
I saw
Donna,
the video. I'm glad their daughter said
Donna saw the video.
Okay.
I'm glad their daughter said it's not for her because of her personality.
Right.
You saw
Exactly.
it. Okay. Vilma Jarrett says sounds like control. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it does.
That's basically what this is. This is a control situation rather than a relationship between equals. And I think that's what marriage is supposed to be. It's supposed to be two people who are growing, who are declared one, growing in their oneness. And the only way that's going to happen is if we're equals. I'm not one with my child.
No.
And I never will be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What you got? Which one? Right, this one right here?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Tammy. I choose Joy. If individuals don't feel or believe that they are being pressed upon, misused, mistreated, etc., and communicate such, none can say what goes on in someone else's home. We agree with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Not unless and until the door is opened for their reality to be seen and outsiders welcomed into the situation. My 2.5 cents. Okay, so she's saying basically. Well, okay, Tammy, my question to you would be then, do you think that doing this interview on YouTube is considered opening their door to outsiders?
Listen,
I think it is.
Look, if you are going
they went public, you know what I'm saying?
You're going to go public and you're going to talk about your stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you are now saying, here, you can comment on this and tell us what you think. You know, because people did.
I actually think what they're also saying is, here is a model for something that we think would work for you. Why don't you try it?
Right.
So I think they're fair game to be scrutinized. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Tammy said at the end of that, yep, I agree that it's unhealthy. So good.
But you're right. You're right about that.
Primo is alive because he commented again. In my opinion, husband and wife are equal in value, not necessarily equal in role and or responsibility, but a small but distinct difference. Okay.
And that's true.
I might say that a little differently, Primo, because I know what you're saying, Primo.
Are you about to get real with him, babe?
I think I should.
Okay.
I think I should get real with you, Primo, right now. Here's the thing. I would say, by the way, we're so real that you're seeing my green screen. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want you to say.
That's how real.
Yeah, it's that real. I would say that husbands and wives are definitely equal. But I would also say that even though they have differing roles and responsibilities, they're still equals. I wouldn't say that they're not equal in their roles. And the reason I say that is because it feels like there are certain things that we give higher value to than other things. So automatically in our home, we had this problem pretty early on where April was feeling like, our relationship in the house based on what we had to do, seemed like I had things that I thought were more important than the things that she had to do. So I would say, even though our roles and responsibilities might be different, I still think they're equal, and I think they should be treated as such so that our wives don't end up feeling like what I do is more important than what you do. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's kind of one of the things that I would say there.
Yeah.
But I agree with your sentiment 100%, even though I wouldn't use the word equal for the role responsibility part.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, what else we got here? Ambry, you don't need a parent, but a supportive spouse. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Oh, Anselm, what's up, man? It feels like home. What feels like home? Are you saying?
I think he said. Oh, when did he say that? Okay.
I don't know what he was responding to then, because we were talking and you know what I'm saying, we don't know what you responded to when you said that.
So
but it's good to see you,
Elaine said something about people do crazy things in the name of Christianity. So that is true.
Oh yeah, that was all the time.
So it could be that, you never know.
Right.
You never know.
That's true.
So, and Christians do have different views on things.
Now, Adam Maycock says 10 years of success in the model has something to say. Not to mention she initiated it. Okay, so here's a little devil's advocate coming from Adam Maycock, which I already know him and his wife. She ain't having this either. but Adam is basically saying they've been doing this for 10 years, and the wife is saying she likes it.
And you know what is crazy, because Adam, I was thinking the same. I was like 10 years, and they're still good. Like it seemed like Right. I mean, that's a long time.
So,
and she seems like she's okay with it. Like she brought it to him, and they are enjoying each other. They seemed happy. But what I would say is, to that, I would say though that she is always going, and she may be okay with this though. Just like you said, Adam, she is always going to feel less than him. Mm-hmm. You know
I
what
agree.
I mean?
I don't see a way out of that.
Than period.
That's
I
right.
feel like there's no way you aren't in that kind of situation.
Okay, so Edgar just asked another question that I think is important to think about here, especially when you have kids. He said, do the kids tell on their mom? Oh. And think about this for a second, right? Because if your mom can get spanked, put in a timeout chair, do lines just like you, I mean, I might tell on my mom just like I would tell on my little brother. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, now what does that do?
Yeah.
How does that fit?
Now,
maybe they do have a hierarchy in their relationship. I don't know. You watch the rest of the video. Maybe the wife is higher than the kids, but just lower than the husband.
They didn't explain that.
Okay.
But I feel like, how do you do that? But I guess if you're teaching it in the way that they are, because they seem like they're really teaching it, it's up in the house, it's something that they teach their kids and everything. There may be a hierarchy, like, okay, I'm over mom, but mom's over you.
Right.
So if you're brought up that way, then I think it's easier to adjust to that kind of thing rather than
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. All I know is it's a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? And no question. Ambry says the girl also said in the video, it's not abusive because it's consensual.
Right. She did say that. And she brought it to him. But it can't be abuse, can it? Because she brought it to him. She said, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want us to work. I want you to be over me. I want you to be the HOH and the D and all this stuff. Yeah. I want to be the sub. I mean, she brought that to him.
I don't think, first of all, I think that automatically there are laws on the books in many places that would say that if a boss did some of these kinds of things to their employee, even if the employee said it was okay, they would still be able to be prosecuted for abuse.
Yeah, but see, they said stuff like, there are no marks left and...
No marks left?
Yeah, on the body.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
I don't know.
This junk is crazy. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Sean Craig is on here. But doesn't the submissive person still have the authority, but simply just relinquishes it? Isn't that still equality in a way? Playing devil's advocate here. That's a very good question.
They never use the word equality.
They never use it.
They don't want to use that word.
I think if you watch the video, it's clear that she does not want to be her husband's equal.
No. She doesn't.
What comforts her is the fact that he is over her and telling her what to do.
But I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm now that you've said this, Sean, I'm going to be honest with you. I really feel like if she is okay with this, right? Mm-hmm. She wants her husband to be the head of the home in this way. Mm-hmm. Okay. She wants him to be the dominant one, and she's going to be the submissive one. She's going to be the one to give up all the time, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I would say if that's what you want, hey, the thing that gets me is the spanking. The timeout chair, the writing of lines.
Yeah.
And the stern talking to. I think that's where I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if this was a different situation where they just decided you're the head of the home. You're going to make all the decisions. I'm just going to follow. Hey,
that's fine. You don't have a problem with that at all.
Again, this is just my opinion.
Yes.
But do you have to spank and have the person write lines and sitting in a chair?
Right.
I don't know. Like
that all seems very demeaning, and it all feels like it is a lower level, that we're not equals. It's not possible for us to ever be equals.
Right. But again, if she's okay with that.
See, this is what I'm saying.
What do we say?
But
you know
again, let's go back to the original question. The original question is, how does one determine whether the motto "it works for us in marriage and courtship" is just a cover for toxic behavior? And I'm saying
that's the question.
Just because they don't recognize it as such doesn't mean that it's not. I think the reality is this is toxic. Mm-hmm. They just don't know it. They don't have any idea that it's toxic, but it still is. And I think this is incompatible with ultimate healthy relationship. And just because you're happier today than you were yesterday because you adopted this new thing could mean it's just less toxic than it was before, or it's a different kind of toxic, or that you're just more comfortable with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The children of Israel begged to go back to Egypt after they had been released. Why? Because they were comfortable with that thing.
So true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's let's not just automatically say that because I like it that means it's better.
Right.
Nah, it don't automatically mean it's better. If they really want to have an ultimate healthy relationship, they got to start from a place of equality. All right, so here's Tammy. Mm-hmm. My question to the couple would be this. Things change. So what do you do when if the sub begins to grow weary of the setup? Mm-hmm. Is she then heard and permitted to quit with the rules? Then it becomes what? Abuse? Where is the line drawn between slave activity and marital bliss? And this is an excellent question.
Excellent question, because I was thinking about what if she gets to an age, right, where she's like, you know what? What's up with my life right now? You know, everybody gets to that age where they begin to reflect on their life, and they think about, you know, do I like my life? Do I like what's happening right now? What changes do I want to make? And you're right. I feel like she could get to a point when her kids are gone, like they're grown and gone, right?
Yeah.
And she may feel like, I don't know if I like this anymore. What would happen? 10 years? I mean, that's like a way of life now.
That's like
what
we do now, right?
So is it that
now he's used to it and loves it?
and now she's ready to change. It's like, no, I'm the HOH.
And so this is the point I'm making, right? Because healthy relationship in marriage is supposed to be where at some point we can change our minds. April and I are not the same people we were 20 years ago.
Now, what do you mean change your minds?
Okay, when we got married, April and I had certain agreed upon things that we liked in the way that we ran our relationship. Mm-hmm. About 5 years ago, that changed.
True.
Not just one or two things, but we changed in who we are. We hit our 30s. We started wanting more from our lives. There were all kinds of things that we started to do to question how we'd been doing things.
Yeah.
And when we start from the place of equals, we can each say, you know what? I don't like doing this way anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. All right. So April and I have this thing that we do in our premarital counseling with our couples, where basically we have this exercise that they can do to determine who's going to do what household chores. And we find this is a hugely beneficial thing because most couples don't know how to like break a tie. It's only two of y'all. So if you don't agree on something, what are you supposed to do to kind of like decide, you know, who's going to win a particular argument? And we also found that a lot of couples are unhappy in their relationship because one feels like they're doing a bunch of stuff they don't like to do and the other one doesn't have to do stuff. So when you come with this thing and say, okay, here are all the chores, who's going to do what? The couple gets happy and they say, here's what we want to do. And then they have a discussion during our actual premarital counseling session on what to do.
Right.
This is huge, really helpful. We tell them at that session, these things may change at some point.
No. They will.
We say they will change. We say there are going to be circumstances and all kinds of things that are going to make this different. And when they do, you can revisit everything on here and decide to change the whole thing.
Right.
That can only happen because you're equals.
True.
It's not even possible for this lady to do this now. This is it. She's done.
John's getting hyped.
Oh, I'm just saying. From now on, she got to live like this. She don't have no other choice because she done made this man happy with being the HOH this way.
Yeah, but I think if he was willing to switch and do this whole thing, he may be willing. Well, that was 5 years in.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you're right.
And now it's like 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't see that.
They may never change. You never know.
They may like it from now on.
Point.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
all right,
Nina.
Nina? Where? Nina's here. Hey, guys. Hey, what's up? Okay, so a couple more here. Ooh, my hubby has been threatening me, writing lines for everything after watching that video. Are you serious? Now, seriously, though.
That's funny.
Now, seriously, though, I'm not going to lie. Let me just say this. I actually feel like April and I could agree on some form of discipline in our relationship if it went both ways. You don't agree with that? I'm saying something like lines.
You joking, right?
That's serious.
No.
You wouldn't agree with that?
You're just trying to understand.
No, I'm just trying to get a rise out of you on the show.
Okay.
That's basically what
because
that
you
is.
know that. Please. Writing lines? The last time I wrote lines was 6th grade.
Did you write lines before? I've never written
Yes.
lines before.
What?
I've
You never had to write lines?
I don't think so. I used to always just get spanked. You know, these are spankers in school back in
Well,
the
I
day.
got both in school, but in 6th grade, they stopped spanking. They wouldn't spank
That's true. I
you.
wouldn't get
Yeah.
spanked at that point. But still, I'm just saying.
Right.
You don't think
No,
if-
John.
Okay.
I am wondering what this does to her self-esteem or self-worth. That's
Yep.
what I was saying,
That's what Elaine
Elaine
is saying. Yep.
You know, what does this do to her self-worth?
And does she think she is beneath all men or just her husband?
Ah, that's an excellent
That's a good question. Now, she probably, you know what? This is the thing. It's hard to understand dysfunction sometimes and where it comes from. I think this is definitely dysfunctional. And where it's coming from, I don't know. It could be something in her childhood, in her relationship with her father. It could be she didn't have a relationship with him. It could be that he was too lenient. It could be that he was too strict. I don't know. But there's definitely some dysfunction that's coming from. And that's a good question. I would love to ask her, do you feel that you're supposed to be beneath all men or just your husband?
Right.
Who knows?
She might just come off like that to men, and that's not a good thing.
Right.
It's just not.
Okay, so Tammy said, ding, ding, ding. Relationships are dynamic because people, most of us, are dynamic. This sub-HOH stuff disregards that human fact, and that's what we're saying. I agree the female is missing a whole lot of something, and she needs some show-enough counseling, as does he.
Yeah.
That's true. They both need something in this situation.
I do agree. I do. And again, no judgment there, but my opinion is that it's not healthy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Look at Ambry. Did y'all see April's face at the right lines comment? She screenshotted you,
Let me
apparently.
tell you something. John just talking over here.
I was just
honey.
lobbing
John
it to y'all
is
so y'all can
just
get y'all a nice
talking over
screenshot.
here.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want that, man.
Lines, please. I don't even want to see. I don't even want to hear us saying, "Oh, you messed up. Now you need to go sit in the timeout chair."
Now,
Please.
pause for a second, though.
I wish it.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this real quick. Seriously. Here's the question. Do we sometimes punish each other in other ways?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And the question is, if we do
Oh.
punish each other in other ways, then are we bordering on the same thing this couple is
Oh,
doing
my
without
goodness.
really having these, fancy names
You
to go
know,
along with
we're
it?
about to be done with the show.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're adding something.
But I'm just saying.
That is so good and so true because we do. I mean, y'all know women have said, okay, you're not getting none.
Right.
Women say that.
Yes. Or sleep on the couch.
Or sleep on the couch. Or silent treatment.
Silent treatment.
Or that's punishment.
I'm saying that's
in a
all
way.
punishment.
Or just not doing certain things like I'm not gonna cook for him tonight, or
Right.
he's not gonna cook for her, or I'm not taking you out, I'm not gonna take her out, whatever.
So
I don't know.
my
I'ma roll my eyes
question
and-
is, we're looking at this situation, and to us it's so
Wow.
obvious, and we're like, yo, they got dysfunction, they got problems. What I want to know is, are we just as dysfunctional when we punish each other in these other more sort of acceptable ways?
You
These are
said
socially acceptable ways of
are we
punishing each
just
other.
as dysfunctional? Anyway, hey Carla.
Hey, Carla, good to see you.
Are we just
She heard you not finish your sentence.
know.
I wish her.
I didn't know if you picked up on that.
She did.
But
Because she knows you.
But seriously, we all have some dysfunction.
No question.
Okay,
Every single person does.
So that's what I'm saying. We
Yes.
all do.
Yeah.
Whether it's from so much comes from childhood.
It
I mean,
does.
we could talk about that for a
Yes,
long time.
you're right.
Okay, but I think that's a natural way that you respond when you are hurt or you are feeling emotional or you don't know sometimes how to react right then in the proper way because you are so upset. And so you might give a silent treatment or you might roll your eyes. That's a punishment, I guess, because it hurts the other person or it makes them feel like or it makes them know something's wrong. I mean, I don't think you should say you ain't getting none, but that happens. You know what I'm saying?
So let me disagree with one little thing you said. I don't think that rolling your eyes is the same thing as punishment, only because that could be sort of a natural response that I'm doing in my disappointment or anger.
You know what I mean by that? I mean a rolling eyes what
with an intent to hurt.
Yes, like you. It's not just once. You have a rolling eyes attitude right now.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay, I feel that. But here's my point, though, and here's the real question, and this is what we're going to end with. The real question is, are we not treating each other as equals when we decide to punish each other? And I think the answer is yes. I think if I say to you, "You're not getting none," or "I'm not cooking for you," or whatever my punishment is.
Wow.
To me,
you're showing that you're the dominant.
That's what I'm showing.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my power over you, and that is not me. At least that's not me functioning in an attitude of mutual submission.
So
that's
would you say that men do that more than women?
That men punish their wives more than women do? No. I think that men and women punish each other differently. Okay. I don't think they do it more, but I think they punish each other differently. Okay. And I think the things that are socially acceptable, we do. But they are actually punishments. And sometimes we let them go on for long periods of time, 2, 3, 4 days.
That is true.
That is not right.
Yes, but I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to say that I do not think anybody who does that, well, not anybody. Somebody might do it on purpose. But you're not thinking in your mind, I'm going to punish him.
Okay, that's true.
Somebody might. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So you may, again.
I think it's different if it's inadvertent.
You're doing it because you might have done that because you're hurt.
Yes.
Or because things didn't go right in the relationship right then.
Yeah, but Bobby just said that's being vindictive. And I'm saying we don't need that.
It is. No,
yes.
This is not right. But what I am saying is when you know I'm going to get punished.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get punished with lines, spanking, a stern talking to.
Right.
Or sitting in the timeout chair, that is very specific. That is very deliberate.
Yes.
If I give you the silent treatment,
that's got to be on a different level.
If I give you silent treatment, I'm not thinking in my mind, I'm going to punish him by not talking to him.
Sometimes you do, though. But
no, I do not.
Not you specifically, but sometimes people do.
I was about to say,
I don't mean you. I'm just saying sometimes people.
You may feel like I'm being punished. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Someone may
feeling like they're being punished is not the same as the person's intent being to punish.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, my point is, let's be real. All of us on here have at some point, don't lie to me, have at some point purposely punished their spouse.
Did they use the word punish in their head?
In their minds, they've said something like, I'm going to get back at them. I'm going to show them. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's inappropriate.
I agree. If you're doing that, that's definitely inappropriate. I mean, we know that.
Yes.
You know.
And the point is, y'all got to stop that. Shanice.
Shanice. Hey.
And some men also. Yes, I agree.
Carla said she was about to punish you just then, John. You right, honey. Woo, just talking about this, I just, again, my feminist self comes out. I mean, I just cannot fathom somebody telling me to go to the timeout chair.
I know you can't. I know you can't. That is not you at all. So here it is. Team John or Team April. We need to know right now which one you agree with. We sort of disagreed a little bit tonight, and so now I think people can make a real decision about which one they agree with. Team John, Team April. I believe that so far I have been winning. I don't know if that's really true.
You did good tonight, I have to say.
You think I did good tonight?
I think you did good, babe.
Oh, thanks, babe. Actually, you did too, because you did have some good old devil's advocate stuff in there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They gave us a little bit different perspective.
Well, we'll see what they think.
I don't know what they're going to say, but I'm hoping.
Thanks,
Carla, Team Apes, man. You know what?
That's my sister right there.
And Tammy, Team April, too. You know what? Tammy, that's not even fair, man.
Thank you, Carla.
Horace, Team April? He said because she didn't call anyone a punk. Horace, man, you and my man, 50 grand. We got all Team April today, man.
Don't make him feel guilty. He should be able to go back and forth based on the episode.
Is that Shakina? Team April?
Team April,
oh, my goodness.
You,
Jocelyn, Team April. Nina, Team John. Yes, thank you, Nina.
She loves you.
That's my niece. You know what I'm saying? Gary Jones, Team Nixon. You know what? That's okay. Thank you, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's
Bobby's
good.
Team John. Thank you, Bobby.
April's face always keeps me on her team. Thank you,
Ambry. Dana, Team April. Oh, my goodness. Primo, I can't wait to see April in person the next time. He said he gonna say some crazy stuff from the past shows. Yeah, okay, we'll see what's gonna happen.
Give it to John.
Yeah, Speed XD. I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Oh, Camilla, Team April, thank you, girl.
Shakina said we pronounced her name right. Thank you. I'm glad we did.
Good.
Yeah. Man.
Hey, Sherry, Team both.
Sherry, Team both. Okay, thank you very much.
Sherry,
Yes.
I love you.
Okay, Kelly Doolin, don't know what happened. Oh, that's why. Okay, well,
Oh.
Kelly, just say Team John and you'll be
just
okay.
say Team April
You know what I'm
because you
saying?
know you my girl. Okay.
Michelle, Team John and April and John. Okay,
Ebony
that's
team,
nice.
I think I won tonight.
Yeah, I think you did.
That's
man.
two times in a row.
But you know what?
I
This
think
is the
we're
thing.
even now.
But here's the thing,
It's
though.
tied up.
This is the thing. Many people watch afterwards, and we have to look at the comments tomorrow to
That's
find
true.
out
That's
what
true.
people say
All right.
there. You know what I'm saying? That's also important to this whole thing.
Thanks, Carla.
Albertine says she's Team John and April. Hey, Albertine. Good to see you. I'm glad you're both of us.
So good to see you.
And Primo, Team John for life. Snoop Dogg. voice.
Wow. All right. I ain't even gonna say nothing about that. I don't know why I'm picking teams, just siding with the wife.
Oh,
I love it.
that-
I love it. So
that's
I
a nice
won
perspective,
tonight. I
Shanice.
won tonight.
Well, anyway, y'all, we're going to be back right here again at 9 p.m. Eastern next week, Wednesday. So hopefully you join us again.
Yes.
Remember to like it and then share it. Tell people
you,
about it.
Jimmy.
You know what I'm saying?
My
Kim, Team
sister.
April. You know what, Kim? That's dirty, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not even right. We're going to be here next week, though. So we hope y'all join us once again. We love you guys. We really enjoy
Yes,
doing
thank
this.
you for your support.
We hope this is
fun.
helpful. You know what I'm saying? We really have a good time with it.
Yeah. Check out our episode that comes out on Friday.
Yeah, we got a new one dropping Friday. This
Okay.
Friday, probably by 3 o'clock, it'll be on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't gone over to our YouTube channel, look for Just John and April on YouTube. You can subscribe there if you haven't subscribed yet. You can definitely tell your friends about it. And we always try to do new things on there. And so hopefully you enjoy it. God bless. See you guys again next Wednesday right here.
Love y'all.
And until then, Team John.
Team April.